Hello everybody, my name is One Andy Weeb, and today, as you can see, you can actually see my hands. Hello. The reason why is simply because I kind of wanted to just go through and kind of show you guys some of the cool collectibles and anime things I have collected throughout the years, going to cons, thrift stores, things like that. And to start it all off, because it is the smallest, but I do quite enjoy it. Dark Magician, signed by Dan Yugi Green himself, the voice actor for Yugi in the English dub. The reason why I got this card specifically signed, not just because it's Dark Magician, but because this is something that my uncle gave me. My uncle gave me this one. So this is a good old-fashioned classic Dark Magician from back in his day. It's just little pieces of memorabilia like that, which I believe it's really important to keep alive just because it's history. It's not making a remarkable impact on the world. It's just something that I believe we should try and cherish and remember a bit more, just the simpler things. And for example, I had to get an absolute classic signed. When it comes to getting manga signed, I am a little particular with it because what I usually do, I will have the voice actors sign the manga that their character first appears in. That most of the time, because there's some where there's an exception, and I'll get to that. But Dragon Ball Z, the very first volume, I had the absolute goats. Got the voice actor of Raditz, and got the voice actor of Vegeta to sign it, you know? And it was really cool meeting them. Both of those voice actors were very, very cool. And just, you know, throughout all of this, like, every voice actor that has signed something for me, legends. They're amazing, you know, because it's like, you know, Raditz shows up in this one, and I thought I was going to have the voice actor for Vegeta sign a different one, but they show up in the first volume. It's just really cool. It's cool memorabilia that, you know, you're honoring somebody's legacy for like what they did. You're letting them know that it's like, listen, you have made such an impact on just the world and myself alone, you know? It's really cool to have just these pieces of memorabilia, not just because it's like, oh, hey, look what I have, but just to like have that history, you know? Chainsaw Man. Now, this is where I was talking about. This is where the example is a little bit different. They first, you know, their characters first appeared in this, but I decided to have the voice actors and actresses sign the cover that their character appears on. So obviously, Makima, you know, volume 10. At the time, there was Makima, Aki, Power, and Denji. And really cool story about this one. The voice actor for Aki, super chill dude. I was working the convention. I roll up. I'm just like, hey, I have this. Would you sign this for me? And, you know, and he was like, yeah, sure. And because I was working at the convention, he saw that I was working there. He didn't even make me pay for it. He was just super chill, super cool, and, you know, just really sweet. I didn't even realize that he signed it up there. Now, Power. I will say, Power, the voice actors for Power has a crazy signature. Just look at that. Even gave Puchita little ears, devil horns. Like, come on, it's a crazy signature. And then obviously the main man himself. You know, wrote the Puchita line, or God, who says that? I think it is Puchita, or is it Makima? I'm fake! But yeah, you know, and actually something that was really cool about the English voice actor for Denji. Yeah, and bear in mind, all these are the English voice actors. I wish I could have the Japanese voice actor sign them as well, and maybe one day I will. But something really cool about the English voice actor for Denji, because I actually pulled up to his booth really early before anybody else was there, and I actually got to have a pretty decent conversation with him. And apparently, he loves the Chainsaw Man manga. Like, he reads the manga, so it's like, before, like, all the stuff was, like, even animated and whatnot, like, when he was doing the voice work for it, like, he was already in the mindset getting prepared for, like, scenes that are coming out way later. Like, it is just really cool to know that the voice actors that voice some of your favorite characters, there's a chance that they are also just really big fans of this. So that was really cool. Now, something that is a little bit different, like an actual like relic. So I found both of these at thrift stores, and bear in mind, these are old, really old. Well, not really old, but they're old. I live on the East Coast, so getting certain anime, memorabilia and things like that, a little bit harder just because the East Coast, obviously back in the day, like shipping and actually having things up, like show up, a little bit rough. I was at a thrift store, and I found, and like I said, they're a little old, so they're a little beat up. This is Shonen Jump. This is from I'm not sure if can you see that? 2006, December 2006. This is literally a history. Like, look, Budokai Tenkaichi 2, Harudagon, and look, you Naruto, One Piece, Go, Shaman King, Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh, Bleach. You got the movies, you got special editions of Jump, like advertisements for things like all the Yu-Gi-Oh, all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and like games that were coming out, for the DS, and then obviously, things for the anime and trading card games. Like I said, it's old, so it's beat up. I wish it was better taken care of. The headphones from Shaman King. Look at this. Uzumaki Chronicles. Who remembers Uzumaki Chronicles? And then you just get like the manga gift guide. So it's like someone that likes Naruto, they told you to buy The Way of the Ninja. Yu Yu Hakusho, a punching bag, carnivorous plant terrarium, sunglass. Like, they just used to put so much effort into making like their advertisements and just everything feel like it was really alive, and that like the characters were, someone that you can meet in real life. It was just done in such a great way. And then, you get to the actual manga for it. You got Gintama. Oh, that was just like a little thing. But Naruto, after the Chunin exams, Shikamaru versus the fangirl. I forget her name. I don't think anyone likes that character. Aura farming. Look at these motherfuckers. Look at these fucking dudes. Come on. Like I said, these are old, they have stains, they're beat up, but it's still history. Yo, Sasuke versus Gaara. I think about it, right? Like, I'm holding this, looking through this and reading it. I'm just like, I have always bought my manga as volumes and like the actual books, but actually like seeing how it goes, like having to read it, like start magazine and chapter by chapter, like honestly, it kind of makes me appreciate that kind of slower style, because it really gives you more time to like appreciate and really like think about the things that you read, instead of reading through one entire volume, where obviously, volume by volume, that's not bad, but chapter by chapter, that really lets you just enjoy and really just like sink your teeth into literally every little detail and every little story beat. Like, it was different, it was slower pace, and honestly, I think that was pretty good, just because it gave you more time to appreciate every individual chapter, because you would have to wait obviously a week for the next part to come out. So you finish one chapter, you'd go back and maybe read the same chapter again, and you'll maybe see something that you missed out on. Yu Yu Hakusho, Kurobara during the Dark Tournament. I think this is a Dark Tournament, right? Look at this motherfucker. Look at this dude. He's locked in. He's locked in. Yo, look at that. Look at the gang, the boys. I wish it didn't have the coffee stains. That makes me so sad. But hey, I will take what I can get, because like I said, history. It is history that you can only experience and truly understand how great it is if you're physically holding it and like going through and reading it. Like, it brings me back to just simple times of how everything was. You got Yu-Gi-Oh, Yami versus Bakura. Damn, look at bro. Who the fuck? Look at bro. That's like that meme where it's like, hey yo, act serious, and then they lock in too serious. It is cool to have pieces of history like this. And that's not even the final one. Now this one is it's like a gaming magazine. This one is really cool because it just got like Crazy Taxi 3, Dead or Alive Pinball, National Hockey League. Like, it just goes through a bunch of games, and like Ghost and Goblins. And I don't know exactly when this one came out. Well, it came Gungrave 2002. So this is actually older than the Shonen Jump. 2002 debut. Yeah, so 2002, 2003 is when so it's full of just like news and like things to talk about, like games that are coming out, and like giving you little profiles and backgrounds on like what like the game might be about, what certain characters are. It's just so cool being able to like look back at just what it was really like, how you used to get your information. Look, you literally have Yoshimitsu's inputs for, what is this, Soul Calibur? Yeah, Soul Calibur 2. They literally give you like the inputs for like how to do Yoshimitsu's moves. Yeah, BB plus KA plus AB. Yeah, dude, like you used to just get like there was no. Yeah, let me kind of bring this up a little bit so you guys can see it. The camera is not really the best. Can I focus it, please? If I bring it close enough, maybe it will focus. Like, you used to not be able to actually use in-game like move list and such. You used to have to get the magazine that had the move list in it. Just really goes to show how it was. Now there is some pages in here, because I have obviously looked through this before. There are some pages in here that I think are really, really interesting, you know, aside from just like obviously the gaming news and games that are coming out. Like, look at this, like all game software schedule, like when they were coming out and like when like certain things would be out for them, like an alarm clock for a game. Like they would show you promotional items and things like that. Let me see. There's like a very specific, this one. All right. Like I want to meet the person who did this illustration, and I want to have them sign this, because you got Game Boy Advanced, you got PS2, Dreamcast, GameCube, and Xbox. Like, why they draw Xbox like that? Why is Xbox drawn like that? Homie killing it. They put so much time and effort into making every like new magazine that came out feel like I said, it makes it feel alive. It's not just a stale, boring magazine. What was that? I don't know who bro it. That is the average VTuber fan. That is the average VTuber fan right there. Now there is, Combat Queen. What y'all know about Combat Queen? I bet you don't know nothing about Combat Queen. Now there's a other page. Where is it? I know it's in it. Guilty Gear XX. What were you doing when Guilty Gear XX was coming out, huh? Go on, tell me. Some of you that are watching weren't even a thought yet. I gotta get back. Look at this. They did it, the double page spread. Look at that. For Dead or Alive, making the characters really seem like models, and dude, it's crazy. It was crazy times. Like, they don't make them like this anymore. They don't make them like this anymore. It's so cool, though. It's history. And honestly, I feel we need to try and preserve that history. Maybe go back to even doing more physical-based media, because something about just owning and physically having stuff, it just feels good. With the digital world making it a lot easier to have an abundance of things, doesn't mean it's exactly better, because I like owning physical stuff. I like being able to like look and hold and like feel and just like appreciate all of the work that was going into this stuff, man. Just how much effort used to go into these. And obviously, Shonen Jump do still come out, and effort goes into like the covers and things like that, making sure the artwork is great and just the vibes and energy that came from these. It's unrivaled. It's unbeat. I encourage all of you to go out, local thrift store, local, just anywhere, go and try and find a piece of history of something that you really enjoy. And obviously, if you can, buy it. You might, later on in life, you might be wanting to remember some of the things that you used to enjoy, and, maybe you don't have access to your old computer hard drives, and maybe you don't have access to all your old phone memory. But with this stuff, you can always go back and just remember. And that's what really makes it great. As always, like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate just all of you guys being here, watching what I do, being goofy, talking about the things that I enjoy. And remember, shoe hoodie.